Now, Ebenezer Faber was many things, but he was only ever generous towards people that could do favours for him, and his workforce were often reduced to stealing pieces of fence to cut up for firewood so they could cook their stinging nettle soup. Well, Ebenezer Faber and his board of directors, they worked very hard, and they were all things to all people. Up in the north of Holland, they were strict Lutherans. As they travelled south, they were a mixture of royalists and republicans and Catholics and whatever it took. And to get this perfect greenfield site, all they needed to do was to convince the local people that their aspirations would be met. So, in the contract for transfer of the property, Ebenezer managed to swing it without paying a single penny, or, because we're in rural France, a single sou, on the one proviso that central to the site he erected a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Now, never one to miss out on a business opportunity, he had this idea that if some of his labourers saw something miraculous, maybe they would get a lot of financial reward here in this earth. Unfortunately, he picked the middle of January 1862 to publish this story, and the press were a little bit full of a rather more authentic apparition. Anyway, there we are. We have the Greenfield site. I guess the next thing to think about is to go and, the next thing for me to think about is lunch. But as far as this railway without rails at the moment is concerned, the next thing to think about is sorting out some rails to lay. Nice clean ones that work. Well, I've just lit my oven with my dinner in it, which means I can't really be doing any serious gardening work or building work, so I thought I would look to see what it is that Ebenezer Faber has bought by way of permanent way, because he was never going to buy brand new stuff, was he? You know, that's not how you get rich. And yeah, it seems to be a bit of a mix and match of stuff, and some of it looks in very good condition and some of it doesn't, and some of it is compatible and some of it isn't. This is going to take a bit of working out. Oh dear. No, it isn't Hornby. I don't know what this is. It's cheap, nasty stuff. Not a lot of use to man nor beast. Oh, that's Juef. Yeah, in the style of Hornby, but for clockwork, because there's no insulation on it. Oh, that's handy, Harry. Seen better days though, that, hasn't it? But it seems to work. Seems to. Well, and that's sort of handy, I guess, isn't it? Having somewhere for lorries and trucks and things to come and go. Oh, look. A power coupling rail. That's useful. Oh, well, that's interesting. So's that. Oh, look. I'm going to stick to calling them points. I refuse to call them switches or turnouts or any of those other non-English phrases, but we seem to have an interesting selection there. Not sure what that's all about. That looks like an old-fashioned suppressor almost. Well, it's a power coupler. Oh, look at this. 3 rail. That is tricks on fibre sleepers. I don't know that any of that is going to find its way onto this layout. Fibre sleepers in a building that gets damp is not really a good idea. Oh, that's just plain plastic. Well, that won't go rusty, will it? Let's push that to one side. Oh dear, we've knocked the Virgin over. That's not so good. And what's all this? Wow. I guess that's good having 2 of them. Some of that might even get used. It might not. But I think we need some rationalising, and I think we probably need to get the unions on board as soon as possible, because I don't want to get halfway through this and have them stop the job. And you know, we really do need to take safety seriously, and we're going to be working to the Going Nowhere's Arrows standards on safety. Yeah, I better go and see what my dinner's doing in the oven, and we might get to do some thinking about some of this later. Might not. Well, I wonder how that will all connect up. Wonder if it will connect up. Because old Ebenezer Faber said, whatever you do, don't spend money. Well, I wonder what will happen. Oh, that locomotive doesn't like those rails. Okay. Shall we try this one? Oh. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go and supervise my dinner.